We've all daydreamed about having a superpower, whether it's flying among the clouds or turning invisible. There's definitely a lot you could do if you were a real-life superhero, but some powers are actually more of a curse than a blessing. With that in mind, here are 20 superpowers that would actually suck in real life. Number 1. Super speed. In comic books and movies, it's important to suspend disbelief in order to accept the story. So super speed may seem like a fun and useful power to have, but in reality there are lots of consequences to moving so fast. In terms of physics, you'll end up getting badly hurt or killed anytime you run into something. Another issue that even the comics explore is the calorie deficit. You'd have to keep eating 24/7 to maintain the calories you'd be losing, and that's expensive. Number 2. Shapeshifting. Shapeshifting may seem like a fun and versatile power to have, but in reality, if you don't have the ability to focus and keep your mind on track, you'd probably end up constantly shifting through different forms. Keeping up a human appearance alone might get difficult. Number 3. Intangibility. Having the ability to walk through walls and phase through floors sounds pretty cool. But imagine if you're sleeping at night and you suddenly lose control only to phase through your bed, a few floors, and then the ground. You might just wake up in the middle of the earth, which is terrifying to say the least. Number 4. Healing. Wolverine is known for his insane healing factor, making him essentially immortal. But the issue is, just because you're healing doesn't mean you aren't feeling immense pain. Plus, you would never be able to get a tattoo or undergo surgery, and you'd have to watch everyone you love slowly get sick, grow old, and die. Number 5. Empathic powers. Empaths have the ability to feel and or control the emotions of others around them. While controlling emotions could be useful, feeling them is likely to be more trouble than it's worth. Imagine you're trying to help someone through a hard time only to absorb all their sadness and dread into yourself. Number 6. Fire powers. The thing about fire is just how easily it spreads. If you had some kind of fire-based superpower, you'd basically have to avoid using it at all costs, to avoid inflicting collateral damage. Whether you're inside or outside, the sheer flammability of many objects makes firepower more risky than it's worth. Number 7. Super strength. Super strength by itself is useless and kind of an inconvenience. There are few tasks in life that actually require you to have super strength, so you'll spend most of your time trying to be gentle and manage your grip. On the other hand, if you do plan on saving the world, super strength without invulnerability just makes you a giant target. Number 8. Immortality. Similar to the Wolverine scenario, immortality by itself is also pretty terrible. First of all, immortality separate from the ability to never age would be a nightmare, as you would grow super old but never die. On the other hand, if you don't age, eventually the rest of the world will pass you by, and when Earth's gone, you'll likely be floating aimlessly through space all alone. Number 9. Super hearing. Unless you can turn it off and on at will, having to constantly hear everything going on around you is enough to drive anyone insane. Plus, even if you could turn it on and off at will, isolating the sounds you want to hear from the hundreds you don't would also be a headache. Number 10. Touch absorption. In X-Men, it's clear that Rogue's powers come with a major caveat. She's forced to wear gloves 24/7 and can never enjoy skin-on-skin contact with another person. This makes relationships impossible and would be a terrible curse for a human being to be saddled with. Number 11. Mind control. While there don't seem to be any physical negative consequences to mind control, the mental consequences are numerous. There is no way to use this power without being a terrible person. If you're forcing everyone to like you, that really speaks to your insecurity as well. Of course, the only way this works is if you mind control bad people to do good things. Number 12. Time travel. By now, after seeing the hundreds of movies about time travel, it's clear that messing with the fabric of space-time just leads to disaster. It's so complex, and it's so easy to accidentally end the world. Or, go back in time and accidentally erase your own existence. So even if time travel were possible, it would be best avoided. Number 13. Seeing through clothes. This power is pretty useless, and even if for some reason you'd enjoy seeing through other people's clothes, odds are there are more people around you who look better with their clothes on. Also, worst of all, you'll never be able to find your own clothes or do laundry. Number 14, turn into water. Hopefully you're able to control this, because if not, you might end up spending the rest of your life sleeping in a bucket. Besides, there's not really anything useful you can do by transforming yourself into water. And at any rate, your body is mostly water anyway. Number 15, heat vision. There are two kinds of heat vision out there. Either you get the Superman variant where you have some control over it, or you're stuck with Cyclops' never-ending heat beams the moment you open your eyes. This means you'll probably have to spend most of your life looking at things through a pair of sunglasses. Number 16, turning to sand. Fans of the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man series know firsthand the downsides of turning into sand. There are many consequences to consider, like will a strong gust of wind blow you away, and what are you gonna do when it rains? Number 17, super smell. Unless you want to spend the rest of your life living in a scenic mountainside cabin, you're going to hate being able to smell everything around you. Having this power in a city would honestly be a form of torture. Number 18, future sight. Future sight by itself is pretty useless. You basically know all the bad things that are going to happen, but that doesn't mean you have any power to stop them. In fact, trying to stop them may actually cause them. If you try to warn people what's coming, they'll just think you're crazy, or they'll assume you're some kind of psychic scammer. Number 19, shrinking. There's very little an average person could do with the ability to shrink. Plus, you should keep in mind the ever-looming threats of birds, vacuum cleaners, and people's shoes. If you've ever seen Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, you know this is not a good thing. And number 20, the Thing. Turning into the Thing from the Fantastic Four may grant you invulnerability and super strength, but at a major cost. You can never turn the power off, and getting into a relationship or doing normal human stuff will likely be impossible. That's all for this video. If you found it entertaining or informative, subscribe to Savvy Gamer for more content. Thanks for watching.